I just pulled the motor in my Jeep, and so now there's a gigantic hole under the hood. So it's the perfect opportunity to tidy up that wiring. What's going on? You're watching Days of Pain and Victory. My name's Josh, and today we're working on the Chief. And it sounds like, oh yeah, there he is. Yeah, Alex is gonna come help me out on this because I'm not really a wiring guy. I can do house wiring, but automotive wiring, oh, my work leaves something to be desired. So, like I said, engine's pulled, so it's a perfect opportunity to clean all this nasty stuff up. Also, gonna try to pull all that AC stuff out. Build us a nice little panel there to put some switches, and make this thing a little less scary. So, good morning.
Morning. Saw me pulling up in the minivan with the zero cool factor. The only thing it's designed to do is get kids to and from wrestling practice and get your wife back and forth to work, and just thought I'd do a 0 to 60 time on the way over just to
shoot.
See how it compares.
No.
11.79 in the minivan when she was cold. So
With half the cylinders this thing has.
good luck. It's got 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, does that make it better? Does that make you feel a little bit more like a man?
No, because I think the Kia would beat this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get after it. Check out this fancy work there. Pretty sketch. But Alex is gonna make it a lot better. Kind of getting somewhere on the dash here, but. All right, this is where we're at right now. Alex is kind of sorting this crap out, trying to figure out what we need and what we don't need. We're gonna switch to a one-wire alternator, which will simplify things a little bit. And then also, there were a bunch of wires that were not really connected to anything, or they were connected but not complete circuits. And so we're sorting through that. But we have to get kind of stuff situated in here so we know where to run wires. So we're moving the starter solenoid in here and then having a big old battery kill switch. We just formed up this little piece of cardboard. We're gonna cut a piece of metal there and be able to have different switches for lights and battery and all that. Took out the AC plastic stuff. So there's all kinds of room in there now. Dude. Pretty good. Got these little sheet metal clips here. See how it works out.
Ready to put the battery back in the Big Chief, and notice we had some structural integrity issues with our battery, so this is going to check some stuff out. We got a washer here that appears to be a mayonnaise jar lid. Yeah. Sweet. Still can't alloy. Skateboard.
Oh. All right, so it's been kind of hard to film because we're just trying to figure out a lot of stuff, but we've got battery kill switch there. I mounted the starter solenoid right underneath the dash. I don't know if you'll be able to see it under there or not, but moved it from the engine compartment to behind here, and then we're going to be able to put switches for lights and whatnot, and if I ever decide to run a PDM, you know, instead of, you know, having the zip tied light switches. So right now we're trying to run all the new heavy duty cables from the battery back to the battery kill switch and whatnot. So when we figure out how we want to run all that, we'll show you what we come up with. So yeah, biggest part of this job is just figuring out how we want to run it. So all right, so we're at the end of day one on the wiring. I think Alex is gonna try to come back in the morning. You cruising?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Probably I need to go more. I need to go slow. Hey, Dad.
Anyway, we've really simplified a lot. I'm trying to show you what we were doing. So we made this panel it kind of eliminated the glove box, and there was the radio, clock, whatnot. I think there was an ashtray here. So now we've got a battery kill switch. When I get this painted and, you know, get the other switches that I have currently put in here, then there's a sticker here that I pull this nut off, stick that on there so I know what's on and off. And then we move the starter solenoid under here instead of in the engine compartment. So that cleaned it up. Then another thing that's going to help is we're moving to an HEI distributor and away from the points. Points distributor had, you know, 3 wires going into it, plus this this thing here. I'm not sure what that does. And then 2 wires that go to the coil. So I guess one has extra voltage on startup, and then it's a lower voltage on you know, run mode. Well, the HEI setup only has 1 wire, and you can see it's just the hot wire when the ignition is on, and then I have the option to run an attack off here as well. And so we were able to cut out a ton of wiring there. Also, you can see the fender well is much cleaner. there was like some old stereo stuff from the previous owner. That's all gone. That the starter solenoid, I don't need the fuel pressure regulator anymore now that I'm running the mechanical pump, so it's gone. That box thing, whatever it was that ran off the distributor, it's gone. Cruise control's gone. I got a handful of wires here that I'm not sure what they go to yet, so we didn't want to cut them until, well, I know this is cruise control, but these other few wires, not sure yet. So yeah, going to a 1-wire alternator, which will really simplify things too. There was like 4 wires going to the alternator. Now we'll just do 1 wire. It'll be much cleaner. So there's only going to be 4 wires attached to the engine itself. The distributor, water temp, oil pressure, and the alternator. So that is huge. And then, so we got a brand new battery cable here, brand new starter wire here, and then this ground will go, so they're nice heavy duty, good sealed up, so should be good. All right, Alex had some stuff come up, so it's just me this morning. It's totally cool. Just gonna try to get a couple more things buttoned up here. Get my exciter wire hooked up on the starter solenoid, and get my light bar light ran. Something, you know, better than this. Maybe we'll try to pull this dash pad off. Supposedly these dashes only come out by pulling the windshield, but I think I might be able to get in there now that the AC stuff's out of there, and I'm not worried about saving it. So if I have to cut it with a knife or something along that top edge, I don't really care. Got this little guy here, just snaps in, so we'll just have to measure. I don't know, put it right about there or something. And they make bigger ones of these. They make them that's a PDM that can power a bunch of things, like even spark for the motor and all that kind of stuff there, and bypass the whole factory system. So that's the long-term goal. But right now we just have lights, and eventually, you know, it'd be cool to have the winch controller, or even a place to just plug the winch controller in right here. We'll see. Let's get after it. One thing Alex was saying to do is take this insulation off, because then we can slide the heat shrink over it and completely encapsulate the wire so that wire doesn't corrode. So I'm going to get that plastic off. There we go. Now you can buy these non-insulated, but this is what I got. See, the heat shrink goes all the way over the end and totally encapsulates the wire, so none of that copper wiring is exposed. So it should be a lot more resistant to corroding. Come on, there we go. Got the dash pad out. I think it looks sweet. At some point I'll try out my bodywork skills and fill these, and probably fill this speaker hole. I mean, obviously the speaker's totally gone, but I think it'd be cool to just have the dash solid. And got my switch panel in. Didn't push this guy in there because I want to get the wires run first. I think it'd be easier to shove the wires through the hole and hook it to the switch. But light bar, rock lights. So this will be coming, but I got to get that motor built first. But I've got all the lights. I'm pretty excited to have rock lights also. There's the starter solenoid. The back of the, you can see the light switches and the big battery kill switch up there. But yeah, I've got lots of space for other things. So hopefully at some point we'll do a PDM and just totally bypass the factory wiring system. Just make it nice and reliable and easy to work on. So that is it for this episode. In the next episode should be building the motor. I'm starting to put the motor together tomorrow. I've got the block all tore apart. I still got to clean up the pistons, but we've got new rings, we've got new bearings. Gonna dingle ball hone it. Got the crank over there. This is the good crank that came out of the Jeep. This is the block I bought on Craigslist that had the bad crank. So we should be able to get this thing put together this week. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna at least get the engine put together this week. Probably won't get it installed because I got a couple more things I want to do under the hood before we drop the motor in. But yeah, pretty sweet. So that's what we'll be doing on the next episode, so stay tuned for that. If you want to support the channel, we've got merch on Teespring, a bunch of different t-shirt designs. There's a t-shirt design with the DPV logo. That is my favorite. It's pretty cool. You can shop on Amazon via any of the links in the description below. We've got a bunch of different tools that we use on the channel linked down there, including the Weld Pro welder, which is pretty sweet. A new way to support the channel, I am a pharmacist by trade, and I know the importance of medication adherence, and we all want to save money. So there's a link to RX Spark in the description below. It's a place where you can save up to 80% on your prescription meds. So if you're interested in saving some money and you've got prescriptions, check that out. It might save you a little bit of money and give the channel a little bit of support. Lastly, just like, share, and subscribe. We keep inching our way to that 1,000. I think time of filming this video are like 780, which is pretty sweet. So love to hit that 1,000 and beyond. All right, wheel it, wreck it, wrench it, repeat. See you next time.